everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome one and all to episode 185 of In Focus Friday, the show where we take a good close look at cool things made of silver or gold. Last week it was a rapid fire edition focusing on 5 different coins that we unboxed as part of the big European Mint group orders. If you've not checked that episode out, there's a link down in the description below. Today we are focusing on the 50p that the Royal Mint made to commemorate the withdrawal from the European Union. Here we have the silver proof, and we've also got the regular BU Cupronickel 50p. A vote to leave and a new era, peace, prosperity and friendship with all nations. So we're going to talk about the coin, the design, why I bought it in the first place, some of the other items that were sold at the time of release, and some of the thoughts on them as investments. I'll tell you right now that I don't think these ones are going to be particularly good, but we shall see. So, for those who don't know, perhaps you've been living under a rock for the last 4 years or so, Brexit is Britain, the United Kingdom, leaving the European Union. It's an amalgamation of the two words, Britain and exit. And we finally left. We had a vote in 2016, 23rd of June 2016, and we finally triggered Article 50, which was the mechanism by which we leave in March 2017. And we were supposed to leave on, I think it was the 31st of March 2019. And the Royal Mint had 50p's already made up with the date of the 31st of March 2019 underneath there, but that got delayed. It got delayed till October, and then more 50p's were made with that date on, and then that got delayed, and then finally it happened with the 31st of January being that date, and we are now out of the European Union. We are no longer members of the European Union, which is pretty momentous and pretty, something that we're not going to see something of its like again in our lifetimes, certainly probably in my lifetimes anyway. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to look to purchase this particular coin, because I just felt for posterity's sake it was a kind of cool buy. I've talked a lot about silver and gold in relation to Brexit and the future of silver, and I kind of figured this was an interesting purchase. Now, there's no denying that the silver proof here is a very elegant looking coin. It's very, very well made. The standard here is great. I can't see any imperfections on this at this time. Let me know if you guys spot any. It's really very, very well made indeed from the Royal Mint. But at the end of the day, it is just a 50p made out of silver, sterling silver at that. Weighs 8 grams of sterling silver, so I think there's something like 7.2 something grams of silver here. And at £60 for that much silver, this is one heck of a premium piece, and I can't see it holding a great deal of value. We have seen some of the Royal Mint 50p's of the last couple of years really fall out the bottom of the market and being worth 20 at best, £25 at best. So you're looking, in my opinion, at this one being a pretty much loss leader going forwards. They're still for sale at the Royal Mint now. There was a mintage of 47,000, which I think was far, far too high. If these were meant to be any kind of commemorative collector's item, I think a lower mintage really had to happen. But 47,000 seems to be a little arbitrary of a number, and it's also still for sale, which is obviously not good for the kind of second-hand flipping market. Often the only time you get real good potential for the 50p's that the Royal Mint make is when they're low mintage and they sell out like hotcakes, and then you can potentially make a little bit of money on the flips, like with the Stephen Hawking 50p's and things like that. There was no Piedfort version of this either, which I would have picked as my choice if I had the option there, but there wasn't one. Now, there were a few other things that were going on within the collection, and we have one of the others that I decided to purchase here. Now, this one is actually one which I think might hold a chance, if we can get it to focus. Come on, camera. This might hold a chance of actually holding its value, certainly in terms of the overall loss that you would take. This one is going to be the biggest in my opinion, but I do think this one's actually got a pretty good chance of holding some value. At £10 for what is essentially just a 50p coin, it would arguably be a very, very unwise investment to make. However, it is pretty low in terms of mintage out there, of course, it being a BU proper one and its old little commemorative thing here. I kind of want to open it and just to see what the entire package is. Do you know what? Let's actually do that, because, oh look, actually I don't need to cut it. There's a little thing here I've just seen. But yeah, I genuinely think this one is probably going to do slightly better than the silver proof in terms of value retention, money retention. That's not in any way a recommendation to go out and purchase these. They are going to be minted to order, essentially. So an unlimited amount of these will be made as BU uncirculated ones. So, you know, basically the 50p coin hunters here in the UK will be able to go and actually find these. There's the inside of it, a historic vote. There's all the information you need to know. And yeah, you know, I don't think that there's going to be a great deal of these in circulation to find in 50p coin hunting. You know, they are going to be ones that are going to be snuffled up by collectors and put into coin albums and things like that. So to have an actual BU version right there is actually, in my opinion, pretty good to have. So ultimately, that's my kind of purchase decisions when I wanted to go through and buy these from the Royal Mint. There were a few other options which I want to briefly touch on. So there was a gold version of the gold version of the 50p. And the gold versions from lots of these releases of the 50p's tend to be the ones which will perform the best, but ultimately they still have an incredibly high premium. And with a mintage of 1500 for the gold proof, I can't necessarily see that being one that will make you a lot of money, if at all. I think it'll probably have a good shot at retaining value, but at the same time, probably not quite as good a chance as some of the other 50p releases that we've seen come out over the previous years with lower mintages. There was also a withdrawal from the European Union strike on the day sovereign, which was meant to be limited to 1,500, yes, 1,500, which I think is, in my opinion, a bit of a gimmick. There really is not, you know, anything different about it, and it was essentially an £800 sovereign with a little tiny mark. So you see this little, hold this one, you see this little mark here. This is the sort of royal gate symbol there, and that was a tiny little privy mark on the sovereign. You know, proof sovereigns go for, you know, on the Royal Mint for maybe 500, maybe 550, depending on sort of the year and the type. The commemorative ones at £800 for a sovereign is just, it's a little bit much. It's a little bit much, and there's definitely, you know, some wallet fatigue going on with a lot of these strike on the day sovereigns and sovereign releases for special occasions and things like that. So not all in on that, in my opinion. But, you know, what do I know? Because that's sold out as well as the 50p in gold. So, you know, it is what it is. Here's the COA for the silver proof, and you can see some of the particulars there. As I said, it's 925 sterling silver, overall weight of 8 grams, maximum coin mintage 47,000. I think that's a bit too high. There's a little bit of information on the Royal Mint and the usual stuff. This is the exact same thing as this big one here, but just on a smaller version. So that's the kind of whole package of what you get. As I said, I really cannot see the silver proof being a investment earner. But I think, as I said, it's one of those ones which made sense for me to purchase as a kind of, for that moment, for that prosperity, because ultimately we have never seen quite the like of this in our lifetime, and it's unlikely to have such a momentous thing again for quite some time. I guess the next big thing that might happen is Scotland leaving the Union, and that would have some interesting connotations and some 50p's perhaps being made for that. Maybe Scotland would have their own mint and make their own 50p's, who knows. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I really actually like this. I think it's quite elegant. I'm not really bothered about the money side of things. Yes, you know, making money on coins is fantastic, but at the end of the day, if there's something that means something to you, and you know, Brexit means something to me. I remember when the vote happened, being awfully worried. I was basically unable to do anything that first day. I was like glued to the telly thinking, God, what's happening? Why are we doing this? And I was not in favour of Brexit at all. But then when, you know, things evolve over time, and I've come to understand actually that really leaving the European Union opens up an awful lot of really interesting avenues for the UK to go down with trade talks all around the world with different countries, different opportunities out there. So in my opinion, there's good, there's bad, and I don't really want to go too much more into the politics of it, but you know, it is what it is. And I think the phrase here to sum up at the end of this video speaks to what I hope, and what a lot of people hope, I think, that will happen for us in the United Kingdom in the future: peace, prosperity, and friendship with all nations, Europe and worldwide. You know, there's just opportunities around this world. And one can understand, you know, the world has changed drastically since the 1970s, when the European Union was set up and envisaged, the EEC as it was then. And, you know, the world has changed. We're a closer place. The internet, just everything is so much more closely knit. And I'm much more in favour of a kind of global world trade, unit block, whatever. It doesn't make sense just to have those individual blocks in my mind going forward anyway. But yeah, love to know your thoughts and opinions on this silver proof coin and indeed the BU version. So let me know down in the comments section what your thoughts are on it as not only just a design but also as a potential investment or loss leader, because I think it will probably be a loss leader. But then, you don't live with regrets. I don't live with regrets. I'm quite happy to have lost a little bit of money on this. So let me know your thoughts down below. Otherwise, we hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please do hit a thumbs up button. That really does help everything we do here on the channel. And if you'd like to see videos from us in the future, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, that's it from us today. Thank you one and all for watching. Have a fantastic week ahead. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.